Grotto was a big part of my childhood, but whenever I get it nowadays, it not even comes close to what I remember. I've been doing a bit of research and I'm going to give it a shot today. Most local bakeries have two different types of grotto. This smaller, flatter one, which looks a lot like the one I grew up on. It's soft and light, unlike actual grotto, which is dense, sweet, and chewy. It's actually pretty good. It's grotto shaped, but it's not really grotto, it's just regular white sandwich bread. Not the grotto I grew up on. Next is this monster. I only learned about these recently. I didn't know they made grotto like this. This is huge. From my understanding, grotto is layered with pork fat or lard and folded. This one is folded, you can see the crease here, but it doesn't contain any lard. It also has crimpled edges. It's a nice presentation, but it also adds texture and taste, which helps the overall eating experience. This is really dense, just like I remember grotto. This might be it, but let's give this a taste. This is delicious. It's dense, sweet, and kinda chewy. It's still warm too, so that's a plus. But this is just regular hard dough bread, just a different shape. That edge is so delicious. This is a really good bread. I might buy this more often. It only costs 600 Jamaican or about $4 US. This is great with a cup of coffee or chocolate. It's good, but I want to try and get to grotto from back then. This recipe has a lot of fat, which makes it hell to mix by hand, so I'm using a stand mixer. We're making a dough, so we need the dough hook extension. Start with quarter cup whole milk, half cup water, half tablespoon instant yeast, a teaspoon of salt, but don't worry, it's not enough to kill the yeast. 3 tablespoons brown sugar, this is going to be kinda sweet. 2 tablespoons butter and 2 tablespoons lard. I made this from pork skin. It has a nice layer of fatty tissue. You could buy lard from the supermarket, but it's most likely going to be flavorless and odorless. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but I do want some of that pork fat flavor. It's pretty mild most of the time anyways. All I did was slice this thin, place it on the fire with a splash of water to kickstart the rendering process. Cover on medium heat until all the fat is rendered. Kill the heat, and now we have pork rinds. Next time I do this, I'm trying bacon fat. Usually you can smell the raw pork fat and tell how strong the odor will be after the fat is rendered. This is really mild. Strain that off and let it cool. I'm placing this in the fridge. When it cools completely, it will be semi-solid. 2 tablespoons of that lard in. And I'm going to give that a quick mix. Next, add 2.5 cup all-purpose flour and let that mix for a good 8 minutes. The dough should be nice and smooth. Next, I'm going to shape this for proofing. Folding it over onto itself like this adds some additional structure to the dough. I really like the smell of yeast doughs. Ball that up. I need a bowl to proof this. A bit of olive oil in. Cover and set that aside. At this point, I can start to warm up the oven for the final rise. This took half hour for the first rise. 50% bigger is good enough. Next, I'm going to shape this and layer in the lard. I'm going to try that design from that monster bread. First, I flatten out the dough. About 2 tablespoons of lard in the center. This will be hard to work with if you get it near the edges. Next, I'm going to give this folds to completely contain the lard. flip, flour. Use the rolling pin to press the dough out like this. It's really hard to roll up the lard inside. I'm not sure how they got the crimpled edges on that giant grotto, but I'm using the pinch around technique we use for guisada. I have a video where I make that, by the way. Basically, I press my left index finger at the edge of the dough and use my thumb and index finger of my right hand to pinch around it. I'm shooting for a square, so I will keep that in mind while making this. Some of the lard is seeping out the sides, but that should be fine. You can find recipes and information on how to make grotto is really sparse. You can't really find anything online, so this is almost a shot in the dark. Next, I'm punching some holes with a skewer. This ensures the dough rises evenly and it doesn't have random air pockets, which might make it bake unevenly. Poking holes is not only functional, but it also adds to the presentation. I'm using a non-stick pizza pan to bake this. A nice splash of olive oil. Place that on and sprinkle with flour to keep this traditional. This is going in the warm oven for about 10 minutes for the second rise. After 10 minutes, set the temperature to 350 degrees and let that bake for about 20 minutes or until it's golden brown. Alright, kitchen smells like a bakery. I love the color on this and the design held up pretty well. Grotto, as I remember, it was pretty white, but I prefer this nice golden brown color. Nice. Let's make another one. So this is exactly the same ingredients and steps. I'm going to fold this over onto itself to create some extra structure. Ball that up. A bit of olive oil. Coat the dough. Cover and rise for about half an hour at room temperature. You might get different results depending on the ambient temperature. This one I'm going to give that typical grotto shape without the design. Press it out and add 2 tablespoons of lard to the center while making sure it doesn't touch the edges. Fold over the edges to really seal in that lard. I'm trying to create layers here as well. I'm folding this over onto itself to properly trap the lard. If it leaks out, it makes handling the dough really hard. Ball that up. Next I'm going to flatten this out. Yeah, so that happened. We're still good though, cause this is mostly formed already. Next, flour and roll out a bit more. Most of the lard leaked through a small hole on the side. We're gonna run with this same way though. Make some tiny holes so this rises evenly. Let it rise a second time in the warm oven for about 10 minutes. Then put the oven at 350 degrees and bake until golden brown. Alright, smell up the kitchen some more. I love the crust on this. That's probably going to be the thumbnail. These smell so good. So let's give it a try and see how it stacks up. The crumb looks good and it feels good. I really like how that tears. Damn, that's good. It's dense and chewy. It has the right amount of sweetness and it's really rich. It wasn't that much, but it tastes milky and buttery, and the lard gives it a unique texture. Like, it's chewy, but it almost melts in your mouth at the same time. You enjoy breads like these more when you break them as opposed to cutting. Yup, this is top notch. So what you'll find in supermarkets and a lot of bakeries will just be grotto shaped sandwich breads or hard dough breads. This tops that. I still managed to get a thin layer with this one. It's pretty much the same though, but I prefer the one with the design. The crimpled edges taste so good. So, what's the verdict? As delicious as this is, and it's way ahead of any other grotto breads, it's still not grotto how I remember it. It's great and you should absolutely try this recipe, but I'm still on the search for that grotto bread from when I was little. And when I find it, I'm going to make another video about it. If you know anything about grotto, don't hesitate to drop a comment. I would love to hear from you. This was a lot of fun, squad. Thanks for 26k subs. Thanks for watching. A special shout out to my patrons, and I will catch you in the next one.